In today's video, I'm going to show you how to create more club head speed by whipping the club into impact. Make sure you check out this video. Welcome back to the TruGolf Academy. You join me, Jon Watts, today in our indoor golf studio. And today's video, as I mentioned there in the intro, is all about creating more club head speed. I'm going to be focusing more on with the driver, but this is still relevant with irons. We're going to be talking about whipping the club into impact. All the info for me is coming along the bottom of the screen. If you can subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, make sure you hit the thumbs up to this video. And don't forget to hit the little bell icon. Just click notifications on, and it will tell you every time a new video goes live. Right now, we're going to jump into this one. So from there, start to generate some whoosh. Still left. So creating more club head speed at impact by whipping the golf club into the golf ball. What do I mean by that? Now, I want you to focus on two bits. So one is the position we're in just before we hit the golf ball, at that last parallel position, okay? So when we get to the stage where our club is parallel to the ground here at P5, I want you to try and get the feeling that my hands are in line with the golf ball while the club head is still back about parallel with my hands. So when the club gets to parallel to the ground, I want my hands to be close to the golf ball. That means I've maintained this lag that we always discuss and talk about. We don't want to throw away that angle too early because I'm then therefore generating the whip, the speed here. So I'm trying to get to a position pre-impact at that last parallel position where the grip and head are parallel to the ground, or the shaft is parallel to the ground. My hands are nearing the golf ball. So we're not creating that here somewhere early in the downswing. That means I've got a lot of stored up energy, but I've got to use that energy very well. If I don't use that well enough, I'm going to leave the face way open. I'm going to be hitting weak right shots. So I've got to be able to release the golf club. And I want to do it correctly. I don't want to just flip my hands at the golf ball because these aren't that powerful on their own. I want you to use your body better. And we're going to be using something called parametric acceleration, which sounds very scientific, and it's just that the club head will be speeding up to try and line up with the grip end if the grip end is moving up, okay? So we're almost trying to get this part to move up for this part to accelerate, to align itself. So from that position here, I want you to be focusing on the handle moving up. Now, up and inwards ideally, because we are working on an arc, so we're getting that club, the grip end working up and impact. Now how do I do that? By allowing my body to extend. My body has got to start to open and extend. That is straightening to allow the handle to go up, to allow the club head to catch up. If I don't get this, and I've got that lag in the down, so I'm going to leave the club face way open, outright to target, or it's all hands and arms. And the players who are using that hands and arms, they tend to try and lean back and really flick at it. That's not a powerful movement, and that's not a good way to control that club head. So if we can create that lag, fantastic, but then we've got to use it. We use it by making sure the handle is moving up and inwards. So for right-handed golfer, that is to the left. For left-hander, that's to the right. So up and inwards by allowing my body to extend. And I'll just get you to hold the club the wrong way around. So get to that last parallel position, and my hands are nearing the golf ball. I'd say with an iron, I'd like them to be over the top of the golf ball. With a wood, I don't mind them being slightly behind, almost middle of the stance, but you're getting the feeling that your hands are almost in line with the golf ball when that club gets to its last parallel position. And then to whip the club, my body is extending, my handle is moving up. So from there, start to generate some whoosh. There we go, that was more whip. And I really feel like I'm starting to use the ground better this way by allowing my body to effectively jump. I'm pushing into the floor, and I'm allowing my body to jump. Now, I definitely need a lot more of this. I create about 105 club head speed with a driver. I know I can get it up to about 112, not necessarily on the golf course. with a conscious effort here hitting golf balls, but I'd love to generate more speed. So these drills are very relevant for me as they are for you. I don't use the ground as well as I want. I definitely need to do more of this in my own game. So let's do it together. Let's get that feeling of create the lag, whip the club, okay? So in the downswing, we're keeping that lag. It's just meaning the club head is staying behind my hands. And when it gets to that last parallel position, my hands are nearing the golf ball, and then we're using it, that whip, by extending our body. Now, it may be a little bit hard to do a little half swing, but let's start with one, okay? Let's not worry about the result. Let's get to pre-impact here. You can see my hands, they're not quite in line with the golf ball. They're about in the center of my stance, which if I was hitting a mid-iron would be over the golf ball. But because the ball's more forwards of the driver, I'd accept that your hands aren't going to be over it. But that's the feeling you're trying to create, okay, here. And then we're going to use that lag by extending our body, whipping the club, okay? I won't worry about the result. Just try and get that feeling from there. Whip the club with that body extension more upwards. Just going to do one more of those. That was actually, I think, a good way to feel it. I'm just doing a little pump drill, so I've just got some momentum. It's important when you do that not to go too far back. We're still trying to keep it relatively short, the swing. So we're feeling it's from this position. Okay, and I'm extending my body. My body is very open towards the target, really creating some upwards movement. So I won't go too much into it, but there's a lot of forces involved with long hitters, with generating speed. We want some lateral shift, that is pressure moving from right side to left side. There's rotational forces, that is my body turning, and there is this vertical forces. So we have to push down and jump off the floor. If we can also get, well, when that happens, the club handle will be rising. As that is rising, the club head is accelerating to try and get in line, another big power source. So let's finish with hitting a full one. I'm a little bit out of breath having done that. And try and just create the feeling of more whip into impact, okay? So rehearse where I'm trying to get to, and then that whip because my body is really extending. I'm going to work on generating speed, and when I'm working on generating speed, I'm less worried about the shape itself. So really just got that sensation, I think it's a little left, but got the sensation there that my body was really starting to straighten and extend upwards. And I wouldn't worry about where it's going and what it's doing to start with. Flew sort of 255, finished about 280. That's quite normal for me now. The direction was off, it was left of target. But when you're really working on something new, as I said, generating some speed, don't worry about that part too much. Still left to target, really trying to get that feeling that I'm extending my body upwards to generate that speed. Definitely worth giving a go. Driving range practice area course first of all before taking it to the golf course. But if we can start to use those forces better, we can generate more club head speed, we can hit the ball a little bit further. Once you're starting to get that into more of a controlled ball flight in terms of direction, playable on the fairway, then you can take it to the golf course. But get those feels first of all. It's definitely going to help your game. If you're new to my channel, as I mentioned at the start, and you haven't already, I'd love you guys to consider subscribing. At least 2 instructional videos a week, all for free. Just hit the little bell icon, click notifications on, and it just tells you every time a new video goes live. Cheers guys, I'll see you next time.